Hey everybody, welcome back. We are wrapping up our week 17 and we have got quite a lot to do today. It's taken me forever to do this video. It's getting tougher and tougher every single time. So luckily Leo's on a tractor ride with Daddy and I got a few minutes. So okay, so first things first, I just want to update. Leo, he's having his clear this month with the MMR vaccine. I haven't seen any reaction. I mean, he had some watery eyes for a couple of days, it seemed like. But I haven't seen any reaction. He hasn't had a fever. He didn't get no rash. You know, I mean, these are things that the homeopath was, you know, she had told us that we could possibly see, and we haven't seen those things. So, you know, I don't know if he's just not reacting. You know, we're really careful with the pellets for the clears. You know, we're really careful. I'm not saying we're not careful with the drops and stuff, but I mean, we pay extra close attention. We do it like clockwork. We follow it to a T, and so it just could be that he's just not, you know, having the reaction. You know, he's got a really strong immune system. He's never been so sick that he needed to be on antibiotics. He's never had an ear infection, you know, so, you know, I mean, he's only had colds, you know, a few times in his whole life, you know, so, I mean, he's got a really strong immune system, so it could be maybe that. I don't know. I'm going to talk to the homeopath and, you know, let her know. So, but yeah, this has been kind of an uneventful week. He hasn't really... You know, there really isn't much to update. I know he's smart. He's very smart. He, like I said before, he's starting to bribe me, and he's still doing that. So he hasn't tried anything new to eat, to his knowledge. Okay, I have been slipping in things to his shakes. Like, I took a can of peaches and I rinsed them off real good to get all that syrup, sugar off of it. But the peaches were so squishy that I put them in the blender with his shake and his veggie mix and made him a peach smoothie with, you know, his protein powder and probiotics and all that. And he's none the wiser. He drinks it. So, you know, to Leo's knowledge, he hasn't had anything new. But... you know, to get him to try something new, it's just not happening. We took him to Arby's, and he had Arby's fries. Now, if you've never eaten at Arby's, their fries are curly fries, and they don't look like McDonald's. Okay, so, and they don't taste like McDonald's, but he was hungry enough, he ate them, you know, so I guess I can kind of classify that as trying something new, because he did, you know. So, okay, so... I got a few things to discuss. I want to get straight to our interview with Martha. She came back and gave us another phone interview with some interesting information. I love her topic of water. I think that you're going to enjoy that. It really kind of makes me appreciate creation, so the intricacies of creation. I think you'll like that, and she answers a few questions. I asked, you know, 3 different questions, and she gave me the homeopath perspective, and it was very interesting, very good. She also talked a lot about different symptoms over time being linked to certain deficiencies, and she was talking about calcium. You'll see in a minute. She was talking about calcium, but that made me realize, you know, that if you have any kind of deficiency, what kind of symptoms are going to come out through your whole life without you even knowing that's what it is, you know? So, I mean, it's something to pay attention to. It's really good information. So, we'll get right to it. Here's Martha, and enjoy. Hi, everybody. This is another interview with Martha, our friendly neighborhood homeopath, and she is very happy to be here to share information about homeopathy, and I think that you're going to find this stuff very interesting. So I'm just going to hand this over to her and let her go away.
Hi. Yes, I was just wanting to share some musings on the wonders of water. I know that the last interview we talked a little bit about these things and about the discoveries in science, and that's the thing. If anybody thinks that this whole thing is a simple question or denial about the way that homeopathy works, they should start investigating just generally what is going on in science with the study of water. It's truly amazing. Water is something that we just so very much take for granted, and yet it has wondrous things. I read a book many years ago called The Evidence of God in an Expanding Universe by John Clover Monsma, and that's in high school, so it's way back there. But one chapter that stands out in my mind more than anything was the chapter on water and about the amazing things that water does. It seems to break its own rules. For example, when a pond freezes over, the ability of water is, the characteristics are to come to the surface as it gets colder, but at 32 degrees, or rather it sinks, should I say the opposite there. But when it reaches 32 degrees, the reverse takes place, and that's why we have ice on the top of the water. And because of that, we have ponds that don't freeze over from the bottom up, but freeze over on the top, and then fish and different things can live below the ice. So that's just one quality, but there's many, many scientific experiments being done with water and how they kind of want to play around with it and find out all kinds of different things about water. And I was thinking, amazingly, when you think about a lot of our water originally starts up in the mountains and comes down as rain. And as it goes through over the mountains in the streams, it's pounded and pounded. It reminds me of homeopathy, where it's diluted and succussed or pounded. And over again, and doing so as it goes over the minerals and the different substances in the rock and in the plants and so forth. It's pounded and diluted and pounded and diluted thousands and thousands of times, and then comes down more into lower rivers, where this doesn't take place quite the same, but it just moves along. But the original properties, I mean, we know that water does have different things in it, like calcium and lithium and silica and all kinds of different things. And then even if you get your water from a well, it's been staying down there. It went originally through layers and layers of different things, and then rocks, and it's been sitting in rock for a long time, and the minerals leach into the rock. And this is just an amazing thing that we just take for granted, and yet it's very important for us to have. So that was just kind of amusing that I want the people to appreciate that the whole thing with homeopathy is very real as far as water having something that we can compare to a memory. And then I thought I would have something to express here about children and cases of children that are needing certain remedies. But I know that you have some questions, and I thought if you ask those questions first, I could tie this in after your questions. So you had several questions there first. Tina?
Yeah, actually I do. One of them is there are homeopathic medicines that are often sold in some health food stores, and they claim to be for specific conditions and or diseases, but since homeopathy is based on an individual's treatment and suited to just that person, are the remedies that are sold in those health food stores, are they really homeopathic medicines?
Well, I would say that they are, because for one thing, they're prepared homeopathically. And the thing is, I have found some of them very useful, even though they may be combination. But you could, of course, get single remedies, too, if you know what you're doing. And this is the thing, it's like going to the hardware store and picking up the paint and so forth. And if you want to do a mural, but you're not going to paint the Sistine Chapel, if you don't have a knowledge of art or what you're doing.
Right.
So in that sense, it's good to have a homeopath for especially serious conditions or chronic conditions. Now, another thing is people end up being very disappointed and think that homeopathy doesn't work. And that's where they really did need a real homeopath to assist them and take their case and get everything straightened around to see what is really going on. And the thing is, the homeopathic remedies, yes, some of them can help, but you may just not find the one that you need because you may think you have something or it just is not covering it, or the fact that you have so many remedies in one bottle put together, it's just not going to work for you. Right. So it's just kind of a hit and miss thing when you go to the health food store. And yes, some people do get some help with combination remedies or single remedies that they could just pick up off the shelf, But then you had another question too.
Yeah, I was just thinking too, this other question kind of ties into that, because I think that, whenever you're dealing with the remedies and stuff, it's probably just best to speak to a specialist. And so that was my next question, was how does someone find a classical homeopath?
Well, there of course is always the yellow pages in your area, but a lot of places they don't have any listed, so you would have to get online and look at a recommendation for, say, from some group like perhaps NASH, which is the National Association for the Society of Homeopaths. They could make a recommendation.
Oh, okay.
So even if, at times though, even if a person isn't listed with them, if they are a homeopath, you might want to try them, or you might get a reference from somebody else. Right. So there's quite a few places that you could start looking. And I was going to go back to the first question too, and about everything being custom made, and that's the thing. Yes, we do want to think of things as dealing with a person and not just a condition. And that's right. You're right about that. It's better to have a person with experience and the studying like 5 years of studying that can help select the right remedy for you. Because you can go around and try a lot of different things yourself, and it can get very discouraging, especially at times you may need something really quick, like it might be an acute condition, or the fact is it may be an acute exacerbation of a chronic condition, and that's where, again, you would need to have somebody that knows what they're doing and be able to see the whole picture. And that means somebody that's really specializing in dealing with this.
Right. Okay, well, my last question, I'm sure a lot of people are interested in knowing, is whether or not homeopathy is safe during pregnancy.
Well, they always tell you, not to use it during pregnancy or something, and it's probably better to check. Definitely there are certain remedies, if a person got a hold of them somehow or other, that maybe it wouldn't be the best thing for them to take, So like I said, especially prescribing. So definitely, if you're pregnant, be under some supervision from some health professional,
Right.
And I think I would trust that if a homeopath had any questions, that they would work with a doctor. But of course, it's more difficult. Some doctors are very prejudiced against homeopathy. So there's a lot of education that needs to take place. But anyway, I was thinking that since you're dealing a lot with children and with your because of your own experience and so forth, that you might be interested in just taking a sample case or two and looking at what happens with children. The fact is, I wish everybody that has a child would consider homeopathy early and not wait for something really to develop, because there's many earmarks of a child that put it into a sort of a profile of a remedy that would help them. And this is very important. So I just want to give you an example here of a calcium remedy. I'm not going to say which one because there's quite a few calcium remedies. But this particular one is characterized, let's first of all see that calcium has a lot to do with problems of metabolism and growth difficulties and thyroid gland function. So it's very, very important. If a child is not processing calcium, that they would want to know about this. It helps in the mental development, and it's all types of phases of growth, physical growth, mental issues like slowness of comprehension, and an ability to acquire new skills. They can have a lot of fears. The child may, perspire a lot, and may have cradle cap. They may tend to be more introverted, more subject to mental strain, and find school difficult. They seem to be slower, but they're really just being more thorough. And one thing is, these types of children generally don't like to be watched, and they can be real fit throwers. They can have a lot of obstinacy, and of course all these things have to be assessed. I mean, I've got a list of 8 pages here.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and so what? So the child grows up and, it's true they may get rickets, or they may have this or that. That would be more on the severe end of the scale. Or they have a lot of trouble, a lot of indigestion. Maybe they can't eat eggs. They might be ones that also want to eat dirt and inedibles and things like that. They may have night terrors, a lot of perspiration, canker sores. There's a whole long list here. Tired easily, they end up with obesity. So all these things because they're not processing calcium. Well, the fact is, how many children don't get any help with these issues from homeopathy? And the thing is, I want to make it very clear, you can take a bottle of calcium, and if you don't have the ability to process it, then it's not going to do you a lot of good.
Right.
But yes, the homeopathic remedy works in quite a different way, and it kind of trains the cells in certain parts of them to process. I like to compare it to a software program on a computer, where if the program is damaged and you put in a fix that software program, it's basically exactly what it's like. Now, I have a real case here of a real person who had issues with a certain type of calcium, and he was an engineer for 28 years. He had suffered from mental depression for 3 years. He was on quite a few drugs. He was on imipramine, Librium, Clonil. He had irritable bowel syndrome. So all these developed over his lifetime, you see. He was, having like diarrhea 4 times a day. He was a child that was pampered a lot and so forth. Just spent a lot of time by himself, hardly came out of his room and things like that. He had acidity, constipation, so forth. So he suffered with all these things, and of course they would have progressed even farther since he was very obstinate, could not tolerate contradiction. He behaved still like a child even when he was this age, and when he gets angry, he throws tantrums and pulls his hair, and he can't make decisions. See, so how sad is that this person could have been helped when they were much younger?
Right. Wow.
So anyway, he was called mechanical and without emotions, as if he was robotic. Okay. But the thing is, when he was put on the correct form of calcium, he absolutely improved and was able to get off all these medications. So he was only on for a while, and he was so much better and didn't need to see a psychiatrist or anything. So this is another problem, is that, like I said, that there is prejudice and non-belief, that we have millions of cases with millions of problems,
Right.
that was just helped just by a certain type of calcium. So this is just one example, and like I say, you can go into great detail into this profile. I mean, I literally have here, let's see, close to 30 pages. And this book, it's from this book, The Homeopathic Treatment of Children, by Paul Hirschu. That a lot of it really is going to be over people's heads, just on a lay type of knowledge. That's why I say it is better to work with somebody that has more experience and really studied the whole field.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, homeopathy is supposed to be customized to the person, treat the person, and not a disease. That's very important. So what we call this case that I was just talking about, and the issue of calcium, we call that more constitutional remedy. So when I take a case, I try to establish or get close to at least what their constitutional remedy would be and what is going on as a chronic situation. People need to understand there's a difference between an acute. An acute would be like a flu epidemic going around, or having a sore throat, or something related to an infection or something going around. It may or may not be part of their constitutional issue.
Right.
But what we are failing to help people with in this country, and this is being recognized more and more, even by people who have been really not wanting to know anything about homeopathy, they realize that they're really falling down on chronic disease in this country. In fact, most medications actually create another disease. And this is what we want to avoid doing in homeopathy. We don't want to just simply suppress the symptoms. We want to work along with the body, not suppress it.
Right. Right.
So it's not really, people, like they say again, they often think this is home medicine, or it's natural medicine, or this or that, whereas it's really much deeper than that. It's a very complex system. And not to forget, we have 7,000 remedies available, plus.
Yeah, and there's stuff coming out all the time.
Program.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's new and strange remedies. I mean, honestly, burnt toast, it can be a remedy.
Oh, wow.
And its preparation too, yes. And people think of burnt toast as charcoal and maybe absorbing poisons, but these remedies have been studied on a person, not just a person, but a group of people usually, and we see what it does when it's prepared homeopathically. We take note of every symptom, or at least the people who have done this. It requires a great deal of study and observation, very careful observation, and it's done over a long period of time to see what effect the substance has. So, I know you want to keep this short, and if you have any other questions, we could try to hit that too.
No, I'm good. Those were the only 3 questions that I had, but I'm so glad you did this, Martha. Thank you so much, because this is it's really good information, and I think it clears a lot of the fog surrounding homeopathy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Well, you are so welcome. I hope it helps somebody out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. All right, so, there it is. I really enjoyed talking to her, and after we were done with the phone interview, me and her continued to talk a little bit, and, one thing that was brought to my mind while she was discussing this was how, doctors tend to treat the symptoms and not really the problem, like, that example case that she gave where the guy had, irritable bowel syndrome. If you go to a doctor and you tell him that you're having these problems, he's going to give you, medication, over-the-counter medication, or, a prescription to take for irritable bowel syndrome, but he's not really going to look into why you have it, and I know this because, I've been to the doctor for, plenty of things, and they don't tell you why. They just, want to quickly treat you with the latest, witch doctor. So, okay, anyway, that was what was, brought to my mind, and I, talked to her a little bit about it, and she concurred, yep, that's how it works. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. Martha is extremely knowledgeable. She has a lot of experience, and let me tell you, she knows a lot about a lot. It doesn't stop with homeopathy. She is a very, very smart, sharp lady. So, thank you for listening to her. All right, so we're going to get right into the featured website, the featured GoFundMe, and the featured products and services, and I hope you reach out and support these guys, because that's what it's all about. We support each other, and I know that's my mission, is to support everybody. So, I guess I just kind of take for granted that everybody does, but anyway, the links on these are going to be featured in the description below. So here they are. Okay, our featured website this week, I'm going to bring your attention to Dr. Sharon Mitchell, and this is her Twitter account. I'm going to have that link on the blog, and she has a website, and it's called the Autism website, and you can also find this link in the description below and on the blog. And she is an autism consultant. She actually has an entire list of credentials here you'll want to check out. So, but she also has written a bunch of award-winning books, and she is offering one for free, and I'll have this link also in the description below and on the blog. And it's for her first book in the series, Autism Goes to School. So definitely check that out, get your free copy, and let her know what you think. Now is a good time to bring up our private parent connection forum. It's just a forum, another place where you can share and it's only for parents with kids with special needs. And it is private, so not just anybody can get in. In the description below is the link to this. Go ahead and have a look, come in and check around. There are no members right now, so it's very bare and it's very empty. But I think it's a good idea because it's just for parents to connect with each other and share, and in a private setting where you can feel safe and secure. So go ahead and check it out. It's a parent connection, and the link is in the description below. Alright, this is Four Paws for Malachi. We're all familiar with this guy. I've mentioned him a few times, and his GoFundMe is on the blog. Just look at this guy. Just look. Isn't he handsome? He is so cute. I just love them eyebrows. He is such a doll. Anyway, this is First Giving website, and his GoFundMe is actually on the blog, so you can find him there. But they are looking to get him a service dog, and they give you kind of a detailed reason why it's necessary and how much this is actually costing them to do it. So have a look here. Their goal is 17,000, and they only have 210. So okay, that is absolutely heartbreaking. This little guy, he needs this dog. You can learn all about little Malachi on his GoFundMe, and from there we'll bring you here to First Giving. So check him out. Okay, this is Autistic. This is a website with some great products that kind of cater to everything. You see that she sells leggings. She sells, let's have a look here, some t-shirts, fidgets, those little spinny things that everybody's into right now. Sunglasses. I mean, there's all kinds of products on this website. Shapewear. Moms like that. So you want to come check this out. This is actually a really great site. I'm just going to click on some toys here. Yeah, so, and just come check this out. This is a mom raising her autistic children, and you can find her story here on the website. She's got clothing, autism awareness, toys, health and beauty, gadgets, and even furniture. So come check this out. The link is on the blog. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and sticking around. I know it was a little long. Sorry. It takes me forever to do these. It's going to end this with a day in the life of Leo, so you can see one of our days. So please enjoy, and I will see you all back next week. And follow me on Twitter, find me on Pinterest, I'm on Google+, so also share, like, comment. If you have a question for Martha for her next phone interview, because she is going to come back, give it to me and we'll address it. We'll address it with her right on the video. So, if you have a blog or a website you want me to mention, give it to me. Give it to me. I will do it. I'm here for everybody. So, all right, guys. See you next week. Thank you for tuning in. All right. It's nice and cool in the house, and we're enjoying some popcorn and enjoying cooling off, because this whole running in and out thing is wearing me down. It's really hot out. I know I keep saying that, but it's really hot. Yeah, he's eating popcorn with his feet on my table. What's you doing with your feet? What are you doing with them feet on the table? Thank you. Hi. Yeah, are you eating popcorn? Yeah, popcorn. Very good. Popcorn. Yum, 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 yum. So, yeah, you can see my house is trashed, but that's because I haven't been able to clean anything. So there's toys and debris from Leo finding a box. For some reason he had to know what was inside it. So, but yes, my house is nice and trash. My kitchen ain't bad though, and that's my favorite part. So as long as the kitchen's clean, I feel the kitchen and bathroom, as long as those two rooms continue to stay, you know, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, so as long as they're clean and squeaky clean, then I'm always in a good mood. It's like, yeah, the living room, you know, because you can see we don't have furniture because we're going to have carpet one day. So we figured, well, we're not going to get furniture until after we get carpet. And we don't really need the furniture because we don't watch TV. You know, as far as the living room's concerned, it's Leo's play area. I mean, you see his trampoline there. You know, you see the toys all over. Daddy's boombox. He built it. There's my vacuum cleaner to vacuum this one rug. You know, we're musicians, so, you know, we play music, and we got, you know, I mean, it's a nice little house, and so it's perfect for Leo because, you know, he has his own room, and we just watch TV at night when we go to bed. He doesn't. We make sure his TV is off, and, you know, so you're really going to eat that off the floor. Oh, it's nice. Nice. Yeah, that bothers me. Germaphobe, but I'm also realistic. It's like, yeah, can't put him in a plastic bubble. So, but okay. So yeah, anyway, my house suffers on days like this because I am outside all the time and I don't have a chance to really clean. Like right now, I have a minute, but I really want to sit down and just cool off. So like I said, as long as my kitchen and my bathroom are clean, I'm going to just sit here. So, okay, we're enjoying popcorn right now, and it's 4 o'clock, and it's been a long day, and even longer. We got like 3 more hours of this, at least 2.5. So, fun times, fun times. All right.